So, my experience in Rec Room has always been on the more confusing side, I guess. But one thing that I know that I've been really known for is my participation in the RecRoom Major League Community. Now, the RecRoom Major League Community has been around since 2020. I was one of its opening commissioners alongside Jorge Chris 2, or at the time known as Jesus, and Nintendo, as well as Pugger and Shazzy. In this time frame, we ended up creating a league that was more of just a community where people would come together, play games, and enjoy our time playing Rec Room baseball, basically. We were mainly created after Dangos had kind of disappeared, I guess. It had just kind of fallen off, and everybody had been trying to find somewhere else to go. So we thought it would be a good idea to create a league that included everybody from that league, as well as people who were trying to get into the Rec Room baseball scene, and just create a community where all of us could come together and enjoy it. At the time, there was another league around that was ran by a guy named Prophet that some people know. He went by different names throughout his career. I'm not sure what all of them were, but he had his own league named RRMLB. The league started off as RRMLB, but then we decided to change that to RRMLC in order to not get into any conflicts with Prophet and kind of avoid that problem. So that ultimately created in the name RecRoom Major League Community, also known commonly and mainly as RRMLC. In the creation of RRMLC and its sudden increase in popularity after the first season came a lot of very popular names. Mini Sneaky, Arctic, Jackie, some people you have maybe never heard of, but at the time were some of the biggest names in the Rec Room baseball community as a whole, including myself. And this gave the Rec Room baseball community a new face and really helped launch its popularity as a whole. Though with its creation came a lot of big problems. These problems mainly consisted of the league being too big, with having so many people inactive or just unable to play, or having people who wanted to play and just couldn't get on teams due to there being so many people and not enough teams to really handle that. So with that came the expansion era in Season 2. In Season 2, we moved from, I believe, having roster limits at 7 or 8 to 10 to 12, I think. Somewhere around there. But some teams still wanted to remain small, such as, say, the Oakland Athletics, who I believe only had 8 players on the roster at the time. This would later grow, though, to, I believe, 10 to 12. That team being ran by Eddie, who is now, as of making this video, second place all-time for Managers World Series. He currently holds 2 of those. He is also going to go down as one of my best friends, one of my closest friends, for sure, from my time in RMLC, as a player, as a coach, and as well as a staff member. Some of you may be wondering why I made this video and why I'm making this video in the first place. It just really has to do with my dissatisfaction in the way that the league has really grown in these past couple of years. It's not that I don't love the league, don't get me wrong. The league is amazing. I met some amazing friends that I'll never forget from this league and throughout my time. But the way that it's being ran now is not the way that we had envisioned it in the past. We had mainly created this league to escape the kind of stereotype, I guess, going around Rec Room sports leagues, that they were really just for money, or that they were just something that was, super strict. And we just wanted to get away from that and have our own place to go where we knew that nobody would ever really judge us, I guess, or kind of be very particular with rulings and wouldn't be too serious. We would still be able to have our own, kind of sense of ruling and have fun at the same time and make it something that wasn't super serious but was still like serious enough to where it would be competitive and we could have fun. The way that the league has advanced in the last year, I believe, or 6 months, I'd say, 6 months to like a year and a half, has been great, but also kind of a curse at the same time. I think that it's becoming more of this league that is more of a titan, I'd say. One of those larger leagues that has all this popularity and, all these amazing, don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I think it's awesome that the league is getting big. And that's what we wanted it to get big, but we also didn't want it to get overly serious and overly competitive. Though the competitive side is great. I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's awesome. I just think that the fun side of the league is gone. Another big thing that we wanted to solve when we created the league was toxicity, and that toxicity has kind of been brought over the years. I think that a major factor of all this toxicity has to do with the incoming of all these different players that came from different leagues that were more used to that very competitive edge and that very, I'd say, almost super ultra serious kind of look into the RecRoom baseball community. Like they wanted to win all the time. And I think, having that competitive edge is great, but it did kind of downplay what the league that we created was all about. I would end up getting my commissioner removed in, I believe, season 4 or 5. And this was due to my quote-unquote inactivity. And I can admit, I was very inactive for a certain period of time. That is my fault. And I take complete ownership of that. Though, I do argue, I do have a lot of main stake in this league's popularity and the reason why it's so big today, that I believe that my commissioner should have never been taken away in the first place. Some people might disagree with my point there, but I believe and still will believe, no matter what anybody says, that is the truth, in my opinion. But moving on from that, I still think that, this league could have been a lot better, but it never got to that point. Moving on to season 5, 6, 7. In here, it contains mainly just expansion and not much really happening. In this time frame, of course, 3 seasons went by, of course, but it was a very monumental time for the league. The league skyrocketed in popularity and gained a ton of members, gaining a lot of traction and getting a lot of new member flow into the community. In this time, though, the league tilted more to that toxic edge, I guess. And that created a lot of internal problems with the staff, which really just, I don't know, it just more of altered the way we spoke and treated each other. Look, correct me if I'm wrong, but when leagues get large like this, I think the way that people talk to each other changes in a way. They become more professional, I guess, almost in a sense. And everything just changes. The environment changes, the people change, everything changes, and it's good and bad. Yes, people are taking it more seriously. Yes, it's becoming some bigger things, something, things change. It always happens. But you lose that sense of nostalgia and that sense of just where you kind of started or where you came from. And that's what scared me about expansion and ultimately scared me away from playing. So in this time frame, I didn't play very much. I was very inactive. I didn't want to play. I didn't have commissioner. I didn't have staff, I don't believe, in this time frame. And I felt like I wasn't able to do my part that I had been doing for all these different years, and it really did break me for a minute. And I'm not saying, oh, it's all I cared about, it's all I had going on. Of course, I had life going on. I had work, I had school, and all these other things that I had to focus on. So, I mean, it was good for me, though, that I was able to take that long break, and I was able to get back on track with school and my life and my family. And it was a good time for me outside of this, but it still hurt in a way that I was kind of being forgotten almost. I felt like I had kind of just been pushed aside, almost kind of let go. And all the people that I had created this bond with kind of just, I felt like almost forgot about me for a while, for almost a year. Though when I did come back, things did get a lot better. That now will be taking us to the Season 8 and Season 10 era. This is an era that I believe isn't talked about that much, and I think should be talked about more in a way. Though it's kind of difficult to say whether it was a good era or if it was bad. In my opinion, it was a very good era, but it was also it had its negatives. Everything has its negatives. I would consider this era to be very good, but it also just wasn't. Everything had really changed after Season 4. Dragon started making all these stadiums, and by the way, shout out to Dragon, dude. He did a great job on these stadiums for this time period. He did an amazing job. Please go show him some love. I'll give him some credit, and I'll show some of his stadiums here on the screen. And please, if you have any way of like showing him some love, maybe go, I don't know, visit his rooms. I'll leave his RecRoom stuff in the description so you can go check it out, and please just go check him out. It's awesome. He really did a great job. In this era, it just got weird. Everything just started to change, and it was just, this is when it really got competitive, I believe. Everybody was so fixated on winning that we kind of just, everything that we had started with just went away. It all went away. And we ultimately just forgot about everything that had happened in the past. And around this point, you know, with the stadiums being bigger and Rec Room getting more advanced with physics and all that other stuff, and everyone just getting better at the game, people started to really question the Season 1 through 3 era. Mainly due to the stadiums being so small, which I can agree they were very small at the time, but they were also created around our skill level at the time. All honesty. All straightforward honesty. Nobody was really that good in Seasons 1 through 3. So, for us to make up for that, we made the stadiums smaller. And that really did work out for us. We had fun. We had so much fun. Everybody was able to enjoy themselves. Nobody really complained. And it was a good time for RRMLC. It was a great time. But back to Seasons 8 through 10. This was the era of PC. So PC players were becoming very prominent, pitching-wise mainly, of Steam VR. Well, the main culprit, Steam VR. I believe in Season 9, Steam VR players were no longer allowed to pitch, which was a very good move, in my opinion, by the league. So, shout out, Jorge Chris. But it marked the beginning and end of a very important era. I would like to call the Season 8 through Season 12 timeline the Steam VR era. And this is when Steam VR just really dominated the league. And anybody with Steam VR was noticeably better than most Quest players or most meta or Quest or whatever you want to call it, meta VR, what PC VR, whatever it's called. I don't even know, but anyway, yeah, Steam VR dominated the scene for a while, It was recently announced, I believe, as of the last 2 weeks of Season 12, that after Season 13, Steam VR will no longer be featured in RRMLC. They will be moving strictly to Meta PC and Meta Quest, specifically, which I believe, again, great move for the league, but it also does suck for people who don't have like a Meta headset or a standalone headset. I do not know exactly who these players are or would be, but it does suck. And that brings us to the end of our timeline. The current era of RRMLC. In this current era, RMLC, as of, I believe, yesterday at 6:32 or 6:52 a.m., has hit 900 members in its community, which, trust me, it's a massive milestone. I am so proud, and I love this community so much. I thank everybody for all the opportunities and love that they've shown me over the past 13 seasons. I would like to conclude this video with, most people understanding and already knowing that I am announcing my official retirement from RRMLC. So I would just like to really thank everybody for the past amazing 12 seasons that I have been able to play and meet new people and make amazing, lasting friendships with you all. And I had an awesome time being around everybody. So thank you so much. With that being said, though, this current era is amazing. But at the same time, starting with my point that I made at the beginning of the video, it's just not the same. The league is so much different. People are coming in and out of the league that I've never even heard of before. I had a moment yesterday where someone said a player, I didn't even know who he was, but apparently he had already been in the league for, I think, 3 or 4 seasons. So it was just really funny. But that just shows how quickly time flies. It's already been 4 years since we made the league. We made the league in the summer of 2020, October. So, it doesn't really count as summer. It's more fall, but still, it really does show how quickly time passes. And it's really special, though, that I was able to be a part of this and able to be such a, I guess, prominent face. I don't even know if you want to call me that, but I'm so unbelievably thankful that I was able to even experience all of this amazing history in this league, and it means so much to me. I will be moving on to bigger and better things. You can check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Perah_. Don't forget the underscore at the end, of course. And I'll be streaming on there every now and then, so please come in, stop by, check in, do whatever you want. You guys can come and chat and really get to know me as a person if that's what you want. If you don't want that, please don't feel inclined to do so. But with that being said, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so thankful for you guys. You guys have been amazing these past 12 amazing seasons in RMLC, and I am just so thankful that I was able to know all of you. And I will still be active in Discord. You can go check me out on there. I'll be talking and everything, but I'll be mainly streaming every now and then with my group, and you can come check us out. I might be starting a podcast soon. Some people that you know very well will be featured on there, so come check that out. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week when I post my next video. So thanks. Bye.